Hey there, welcome back to my channel. You're at the Thrifty Journal Shop. My name's Amber, and today I just want to do a quick video. I just want to share some of the papers that I put inside my junk journals. So these are usually the standards when I make a journal. And I thought I would just share those with you if you're looking to make maybe your first junk journal, or if you're just looking for ideas of different papers to incorporate inside the journal or to use as ephemera in the journal. So all of these pages or papers that I'm going to mention are all items that I find while I'm thrifting, minus like the Dollar Tree paper I'll show you. And I usually use that for like ephemera or embellishments. I do have a paper pad I bought like years ago at Hobby Lobby, and I still use it at times. I don't have anything against the big brand stores. I love Hobby Lobby. I just try to repurpose, recycle. I try to find paper pads at, thrift stores, estate sales, at Facebook Marketplace. If you're on Facebook, you can find discounted items or just items that people don't want anymore. So I just thought I would share some of those papers with you. And so I just wrote a list here. So the first on the list is wrapping paper. So I usually can find all sorts of wrapping paper at thrift stores. They always have it. Sometimes it comes like in these sheets. Now this is some vintage stuff with the Care Bears. And a lot of times, you'll get packs of it all together and for a really good price. Here's some paisley. I love paisley. And there's some kitty cats. So wrapping paper is just a nice paper to add. It is a thinner paper, but I just think it adds so much to the journal. It adds color, and you can always back it up. You could always glue another page to it if you wanted to thicken it. So that's just one of the papers that I usually add is wrapping paper. So the second is like graph paper, ledger paper, writing paper. That could be, this is some of the line paper from like back in the school days. And I can usually find that at thrift stores. It seems like they always have like graph paper pads half used or ledger paper, all different kinds. I've got legal pads that are really big, and these are really nice to add to journals because then you have like writing space, a place to glue. Sometimes the paper is nice and thick. And then a lot of times I can find like old ledger papers, or I found some like farm bureau paper like this right here. And this I got in an estate sale. And so this is nice because it is vintage and it still has a pretty good texture. And I could always glue the pages together and add them to a journal. Okay, so that is another form of paper. And then music paper. I love using music paper. And there's a couple reasons why. What's nice about when you find music paper is it's easy to pull apart, and then you have this full-size page. And then, you can make pockets, you can fold it down and make pockets. You can cut it so then you can, use it this way. It's usually nice and thick. And sometimes if you come across older music paper, it's vintage looking, and it makes for great paper to collage with too, to stencil on, to add paints to. And then what's even a bonus is a lot of times it comes inside these nice cardstock weighted book jackets. And these are just beautiful. So then you could use this as a journal cover. I mean, you could cut this down and, reinforce it in here. And this could be, and that's just such a pretty image there. Or use this inside of a journal. And this is another one. It's just really nice cardstock. So you have like a double whammy here. You can use the paper and the book jacket. This is some different paper. So this is the guitarist paper. So music paper is always just, it's very versatile, and I I think every thrift store I go to, or Goodwill, those kind of places have it. And the next one's children's book pages, and this is going to be very versatile and very broad of what you can find, anywhere from little tiny golden books to larger children's books. This was a really nice book with some gardening and some planting, a lot of different kinds of varieties. I just pulled a few books to show you for other options. So a lot of times I find childcraft books in thrift stores, and then the covers are awesome for a journaling cover. They're very pretty, and then depending on the book, what they have, what they offer. This one has a lot of nursery rhymes and really pretty pictures, so you can use these pages in your journal. You could fussy cut a lot of these images. So childcraft books are great to use. I find old textbooks a lot inside of thrift stores. Once again, this would make a beautiful journal cover. And then inside, you've got all these book pages that you could do all sorts of things with. Another really fun book, and I've only found one of these, but encyclopedias, Dick and Jane books are really great. But the images in here, the pictures in here are so beautiful, interesting. They're very unique. And there's just so many different journal possibilities with this. Inside here, you could fussy cut. If you were doing a themed journal, I mean, the possibilities in here are endless. So children's book pages, I mean, there's so many different possibilities when it comes to that. Okay, and then I have wallpaper. And I love wallpaper. Wallpaper is probably one of my favorite things to use. Trying to find like vintage wallpaper can be challenging. I have found some like in a thrift store. I have yet to find any at an estate sale. I did find some at a resale store a few years ago, and they were like 1980s, 1990s books. The thing is with wallpaper, I mean, you can find it on eBay, and then, the shipping of it is going to be pretty expensive because the books are so heavy. So I wanted to give you an alternative way that I found some wallpaper. Now, this isn't vintage wallpaper, but this book is so huge. There's a lot of really pretty pieces in here. These are really large. I love the texture of this wallpaper. So I got a bunch of books at a paint store. It's called Sherman-Williams. I don't know if it's a chain, but I didn't realize that the paint stores, they have they get wallpaper books, and then they have to throw them out. Like every year they got to get rid of them. So I just happened to go, and the woman gave me a bunch of them for free. She said that they have to throw them out in the dumpster, but a lot of times she'll have teachers come in or different people that want to use them for crafts. So if you're looking for wallpaper, that's always just a thought. Maybe go to a paint store and see if they will give them to you, or maybe give them to you at a discounted rate. And wallpaper is just so fun. I mean, it's just its own decoration in itself. And then when you flip it over and you have this side of the paper, this side takes glue and paints very well. You can make envelopes out of wallpaper. You can use it as collage. You can use it as a background with a picture. You could make a cover out of a wallpaper. I use wallpaper a lot and line the inside of my journals because it has such a nice texture and a thickness to it. So wallpaper, it's probably one of my favorites. Okay, so the next one I have is craft paper. And when I mean craft paper, I mean like papers from craft books. That could be, needlepoint books, sewing books, crochet books, scrapbooking books, anything like craft related, quilting books. But a lot of times they just have the prettiest pictures. I love to actually read what's in the books too, but they're just beautiful. They have a lot of heavy, the pages are usually nice and thick. This is one of my favorite books. I just think these pictures are beautiful. Look at that. And then you have this nice book. This would just be a beautiful journal cover. Look at that. So here's another style. So then a lot of times craft books, you can find the binders. Now this one's huge, but what's nice about this is that you could, take all these papers out and make your very own journal. But the thing I like about the binders is a lot of times they have this heavyweight divider, and this is like cardstock. It's really nice and thick. So this would be great for gluing, painting, etc. And not only that, it's nice because if you're looking to make a journal using a binder, or maybe not even using a binder, maybe you want to just, put your own binder rings into the journal, then you have your own template and you can use this and go along and punch the holes and you have a template. So these are really nice. A lot of times they've got sheets like this. This is so versatile and fun that you could use in a journal. So these are just some of the different papers that I get out of craft books. I mean, beautiful. I love using these papers too because they're nice and thick. It's black and white, so you can add color. You can add collage to them. And these papers, I love. This is a 1970s. I just really liked all of the color in them. The furniture. So it's very versatile. Next is scrapbook paper. And this is my scrapbook paper. This is, at the moment, this is all I own. I've got I think some of this is like the paper pad I bought years ago at Hobby Lobby. A lot of these sheets is just, I'll go to a thrift store and they'll sell a few sheets together, or I'll find half-used paper pads. Then I recently found these at a thrift store. I found this fall one, a Christmas one. I love scrapbook paper. I think it adds so much to a journal, but I don't think you need an overabundance of it. I think that you can create journals from a very limited amount of papers. That in itself pushes your creativity. So scrapbook paper is a great option, and there's so much you can do with scrapbook paper too. So the next one I have is stationery and letterhead. I just pulled a few, but these are all from a thrift store. A lot of times I'll find theme-oriented stationery too at thrift stores, and I love putting this in there because it's it adds color, but then you've got the white on the back, so you could do something different on the back. It's usually nice and thick, so I love using stationery and letterhead. Here's another. These are smaller pieces of stationery, lighter pieces, but adds color. Okay, and then I have the Dollar Tree paper. So I know I've talked about these before, but if you go to the Dollar Tree, they sell those paper packs. You've probably seen them, and they come with all different kinds of paper, and I'm in love with it. It's textured, it's glittery. They have all different sizes, so these make for great embellishments if you're going to make your own tags or journaling cards, or the list is endless. So this is just another great paper to add to your collection. So we got down to the Dollar Tree paper. All right, garden papers. Once again, this can be very versatile too. There's many types of books and different textures. I really love when I find, and I know I've mentioned this before, when I can find these pages with the flips, because then you can add it to a journal and then you can flip it out and you have all of this space to journal on. This is a nice one too, but this is like a heavier cardstock. I think it opens up. Yes. So it's just a really nice weight. This is from a meal. This is from a cookbook, but a lot of times the garden books will have these dividers too. So then you have like a template if you wanted it. And you've also got like a heavier cardstock. And you're just left with these really pretty pictures and really pretty images to put inside your journals. I think this was a tab out of a craft book, but yeah, you have those. You've got the punch holes here and the divider. Okay, and then I have cookbooks. And probably, I know I said wallpaper, but I think all these papers are my favorite. But cookbooks are up there with my favorites, especially cake books. I don't know what it is. I just recently found this one, Better Homes and Gardens chocolate. The pictures, the images are beautiful. I mean, how beautiful is that? And I think just in itself, the page just adds to the journal. There's not much more you need to do with it. And then usually the paper is nice and thick. A lot of times you can find magazines. These are some of the cake decorating magazines I got off of eBay, actually. This one is 1977. And I wanted them for a lot of the cakes in here because I wanted to fussy cut. I wanted, I'm working on maybe some theme journals for the 1980s, and they just had all of these fun cakes and fun images. Yeah. So look at that. So recipe books. And then, you're going to find the binder ones, and you're going to have the heavy cardstock, which is nice. And this, if you would like to make your own binder or ring bound journal. These pages are from a Southern Living cookbook, I think. I just love these. They almost look like a coloring book page. You could add this. I've added them to my journals, and then you've got something you can color. And then these are some of the pages out of the Betty Crocker or Better Homes and Garden. So that is cookbook pages. I didn't write this one down, but construction paper is another thing you can put in journals. You can find this, at thrift stores, and this is lighter weight construction paper. But what I find is I might double up a page and glue them together, or sew them and add them to a journal. So then you've got like a two-sided color in there. So construction paper is great. And the last thing I'm going to share is ephemera. And I'm not going to pull out like all of my ephemera. I mean, that's not like I have a huge amount, but I thought I would just show like my playing cards. So this is my box. This is, my playing cards. I've got recipe cards in here, and I've got bingo cards. And this is it. I have limited myself to one box. Or I shouldn't say I've limited myself, but this is the box that I started out with. And I've just made it sort of a point to keep what I have in this box and use it up. And I only really try to restock it as I use it. That way, for me, and this is just for me, I'm not overwhelmed. Now, I do have some other game cards in here, like Trivial Pursuit cards that don't fit in this box, but these are my cards. And then I'm not overwhelmed with too many, and I can just pull this out, and I have flashcards in here. I've got giant jumbo playing cards, which I love to use. These are fun to use for tucks or pockets. They're nice to use to embellish too. I picked up some Scooby-Doo cards. I've got, these were from like a memory game. Remember that game where you had to flip the pictures and match? Uh, I use these in journals. I found these rainbow cards. These make really cool things to add to a journal. Flashcards are great. And then I found a bunch of really large bingo cards at a thrift store. These are nice to stick in a journal, and then you can embellish them if you want. I've got Uno score cards. And then, the recipe cards. These are probably one of my favorites too. And a lot of times you'll find these like at an estate sale, and you've probably seen them. They come in like, I don't have one right here at the moment, but like a Rubbermaid heavy duty plastic container, and it's got like a flip top, and they come in that. And usually, they are really super cheap, and usually you can find those at estate sales. And then I just have some other fun playing cards that I have found with these animals, and they just really make nice embellishments. I love Uno cards. I don't have any at the moment because I've used them all, but I'll take playing cards and I'll turn them into my business cards. I will take my little stamp kit with my letters and say thank you, or I might write out my name or my number or my email address, and I'll sew fabric on them. So I use playing cards a lot. And let's see, found these cards. I love these. So what's nice is you can find all different types of cards in all different sizes with all sorts of images. And, you can usually find themed ones. I think these were from the Dollar Tree. Here's some Pooh cards that I found at a thrift store with Eeyore. And then this was from a teacher's kit. So there's like words in here and the pictures that match. Okay, so that is just some ideas, options if you're looking for maybe some new ideas of papers to put inside your journal, or if you're looking to make your first journal. You don't need all the fancy stuff. You don't even need all the things that I listed on this list. But I just wanted to share with you some of my favorite items, and usually the standard papers that what I put in my journals. I love to make journals that are eclectic. When I say eclectic, I mean I like to add everything and anything to them to give a variety. Sometimes I make theme oriented, and I might keep them more theme, but I like to make them broad so you can use it for whenever and whatever. So I hope you found this video helpful. I'm putting together maybe a little series on how I make my larger journals. If you like my content, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Get outside and have some fun, and most importantly, find some time for yourself to create. All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.